one of the best pieces of advice that I can give in terms of spiritual growth and spiritual development, in terms of becoming your best self, in terms of stepping into your full potential, in terms of engaging with the self and with others in connection, in deep, deep connection, is by, in every single interaction that you go into, is by holding a pure intention. And what do I mean by a pure intention? It means taking a moment to not react from the parts of ourselves that are wounded through experiences that we've had in the past. Often it's the wounded inner child, and I'll link a video about the inner child that is reacting in situations that we are in, that is causing us to act in a way that perhaps is reactive from a place of hurt, and we might react in an angry way, in a hurt way, or we also may manipulate a situation in order to get love that we really desire and need. So we might end up manipulating a situation. However, if we take a moment in all of our interactions and think, what is my intention here? How can I show up in this interaction from a place of unconditional love, from a place of love, from a place of pure intention, not from a place of trying to manipulate to get something that I feel I need or want, but from a place that honors the self and honors the other. So if you hold that intention to move from a pure place, a heart space, and you bring that into every interaction, then you grow massively, you grow, you expand. But it also ultimately leads to that interaction moving into a different octave of reality. You create much more harmony in all of your interactions, and your connections to others deepen. And this really sort of moved into my awareness when I met somebody who I felt a really deep connection with. And this often happens when we meet a soulmate, somebody, a past life soulmate, someone we've had interactions with before. We recognize their souls, they feel familiar, we feel like we already know them. When I met this person in 2015, well, it changed my awareness, because I felt so much unconditional love for this person, and I couldn't understand how I felt this unconditional love because I barely knew them. But I felt so much unconditional love for this person that in every interaction it made me really stop and go into my integrity and think, how can I, whilst there was something that I wanted out of this interaction and I did, how could I move from a place of purity, not of ego, but a place of the heart, of a pure, heartfelt intention that was not about me getting what I wanted per se, but was about me moving from a place of vulnerability, a place of deep, pure honesty. And that interaction really helped me do that. But it made me want to be a better person, should I say. It made me not want to be a better person like I was a bad person, because we are not bad people, even though society will make us feel like that. That is not the truth of who we are. But it made me want to show up more for myself. It made me want to go deeper into the self and move from a place of purity. It made me see the ego and question the ego and the truth of what the ego was trying to tell me. And it made me move into that heart space and really start to put more focus on the heart. And as I put more focus on the heart and started to ask myself, what is my intention here? Is my intention coming from the ego because I need to feel good about myself, because I need to feel loved and valued by another? Or is it coming from the heart, from honesty, from purity, from not trying to manipulate? And often we're not trying to manipulate consciously, okay? So we're not often, I mean, some people do, of course, but it does come from subconscious wounds as well. Often we are not trying to manipulate somebody from a malicious way, but when we really stop and have awareness and ask ourselves, is this coming from a pure place? Is it coming from the heart, or is it coming from the ego? Then we start to align more with the heart's intentions. We start to hear the heart. And as we start to hear the heart, we can be guided by the heart rather than the illusions in the mind. And as we start to be guided from the heart, then even if we don't get the outcome that we want in that time, because not everybody else is in that space and they're not ready to receive that pure intention, because they've got walls up around the heart. And again, I've got a video on that which you might want to watch. However, when you move from that place, you grow and you expand. And no matter what the outcome is, you feel a shift inside. You feel an alignment start to place. You take an extra step into the soul. You bring in more of the soul, because the soul is heart. The soul is ancient. It's full of wisdom and it's full of knowledge. And the heart has got its own mind, its own wisdom, its own knowledge. It's the connection to the soul. And the soul knows the path of purity. And it knows that every time you bring that in, your life is going to expand in the most magical ways. And even if you don't see the blessing in the outcome at that time, it will come in time. It is already on its way to you when you start to work with pure intention, when you start to ask yourself, what is my intention? Is it coming from the ego? Is it coming from the heart? This is a real great way to spiritually grow and expand. And that is our purpose. That is our purpose. It's not a job. Our purpose is to grow and expand as souls. And we have an opportunity to do that in every single interaction that we have. So if you hold that in your awareness today, and especially if you're going through a difficult situation, if you're in a relationship and it's difficult, if you start to bring that in, you can see how that can really change that relationship for the better. Because as you start to do it, it often triggers that from the other person as well, because often otherwise we are acting from ego and we're acting from wounds. And when we act from ego and we act from wounds, then we often trigger the other person as well, and we both end up being triggered and acting not from a place of the heart of pure intention, but a place of trauma and wounding. Thank you.